Welcome back to Sandra Sells Tells, real estate, real people, real Plymouth. Today I'm sitting down with someone who has not only seen it all in real estate, but has survived every market shift, every trend, every fad, and somehow still loves the business and is in it. We're talking with Donna Paysant, a seasoned realtor with Paysant Real Estate Inc., with decades of experience and a reputation for doing things the right way. And trust me, these stories are good. So welcome, Donna.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thanks for being here. How long?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to
my pleasure.
do this.
First of all, I want to say I've admired you and how long you've been in it. I have not been in it as long as you, and we're going to talk about how long you've been in it in a while. But I just admire and honor and respect people that have been in it this long and done it as well as you do, and kind of have the same compassion, because we have to have that in this business.
We have to have lots of compassion.
Attitude.
Lots of empathy.
Yes.
Yes. And lots of confidence.
And patience.
And patience.
Yes. So how long have you been in the business?
So I have been licensed for 48 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. I started everything very young.
I guess so, because you do not look like you've been doing this for 48 years. I feel like I get more gray hairs and more wrinkles over the years. So 48 years. Tell me where you started, how you started, who you're with.
Okay, well, when I was nouveau licensed in 1977, I was in the process of buying a house. I picked the Realtor because I saw their office sign off Route 3 in Hanover when I used to drive my mother down to our cottage in Hummerock Beach. So I saw them. I walked in and I said, I want to buy a house. They said, how much money do you make? They introduced me to a very nice younger broker. And I said, well, and they said, how much money do you make? And I said, well, how much do I need to make? And the owner of that real estate company, which was Hancock Homes in Hanover, said, I understand you're going to real estate school. I says, I am. He said, oh, that's great, because when you pass your test, come in and tell me. I said, well, I did pass my test in August, so I'm here, and I do want to buy a house. And he says, well, I like the answer. How much do I need to make? And times were a lot different then. Times were very open, sort of loosey-goosey.
Handshake deals.
Offers written on napkins.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, my goodness. So anyways, we decided on a certain price range based on how much I wanted to spend every month for a mortgage and felt I could handle. And they were shaking their head, and all of a sudden they said, hey, I have a great opportunity for you. Let's show you houses in Carver, Massachusetts. I said, I never heard of Carver. I said, okay. The joke was, even crows don't go there to die. But then I went to Carver, and I bought a new house. It was built by one of the largest builders at the time in Carver, which was Williams Brothers.
Okay.
So the owner of Hancock Homes said to me, listen, okay, after you close on your house, let's get you all up and running, because we have a great opportunity for you. The opportunity is that you can sell all these new houses, because we have an exclusive with Williams Brothers, which was called Village Homes at the time. And we would like you to be in our Carver office since we're selling you a house there. And I was like, gee, I'm awfully young to be in my own office, and this is kind of nice. And okay, I'll give it a shot. I didn't know what I was doing. And when I went through the interview process after I was licensed, but before I closed on my house, the questions were like, oh, so did you ever sell Mary Kay? I said, no, I had 4 babies real young and very quickly. And no, I've decided that I needed a career. And I thought, like most people still today think, that selling real estate was going to be a convenient job for a mother with 4 small children, because all you had to do was open doors and walk in and look at beautiful people's beautiful homes.
And boy, is that so far from the truth.
Oh, is that so far from the truth?
That is nothing like that. We wish.
We wish. I was in this situation, and this office I was in was a crooked little house
Oh, my goodness.
now, we want to talk about what was available at the time. I'll tell you, the only thing that was available then was one landline. So I'm moved to a town where I don't know anybody. I'm in this little crooked office. The first person that called me at the office was my boss. I bungled the phone call because I was so nervous.
Oh, gosh.
So they sent a lady over to train me, and she trained me with, okay, you have to do step A, step B, step C, D, E, in that order, and you will be successful. So then, because we had to go meet people, I went to the builder's office. I met all of them. I met all of their subs. And it was a really lucky thing for me at the time when I started because I learned how you build a house. I learned all the components that go in a house, what subcontractors put those components in, what order they go in. So it was really cool.
That's a great learning experience because there's
a
lot of agents in this business that still don't know that.
What was lucky about it that I never thought of actually was that I was in a town with 4 small kids that all played sports, got them enrolled in school, spent a lot of time down at the baseball fields, and learned got to meet all the people in Carver. So getting a start as a new broker, if you concentrate in a small area, all of a sudden people get to know you very quickly. Yeah. So that all worked to my favor. So we were selling homes, and I went to work, and I went in there probably 7 days a week waiting for that phone to ring. Well, you don't wait for phone to ring in our businesses. You've got to go out and keep introducing yourself to people so people know who you are, so they know who they're calling.
Absolutely.
So it was all brand new. It was in my training, step A, step B, step C. Well, none of that worked because each situation that we walk in then and today, each one is different.
No two are the same.
No two are the same. So having said that, then I thought it was wonderful. I wasn't really selling I didn't sell anything for 5 months, and I was getting a little discouraged.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the more I learned, the more I did. Now I'm selling just for a builder now. The more I learned, the more I did, the more I just loved it. Meeting the subs, having them come into my little crooked office and talk to me. It was great. So, then I sold 52 houses in 7 months.
Holy cow.
And all those subs loved me. And that builder loved me. And I didn't sell anything for 5 months. And then the next 7 months for the year, 52 houses.
Has that been your highest ever?
Huh?
Has that been your highest ever in your career?
Yes. That's been my highest ever.
Wow.
But not my highest income ever that I ever made.
No.
So I found out
a little
that
different price point back then.
As we were going along, I was getting paid $200 a sale. I learned, and they were doing
see my face right now.
Affordable housing, and the financing was done by the Farmers Home Administration, which is now rural housing. And I was getting paid $200 a sale, and the brokerage house, Hancock Homes, they did this for a flat fee of $1,000, so they got $800 and I got $200. I was like, okay. And then they had somebody in the main office that did all the financing if it wasn't through this Farmers Home Administration. And that person didn't do their job once, and it cost me a sale. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. I'm not doing this right. So I started to think about it, and then I had someone come in the little crooked office after I was in the process of selling all these homes, and they go, gee, Donna, we heard that you're selling homes in our town. And she says, we own a house in Carver, and we need to sell it to buy another house. So I went to the manager of the Hancock Homes, and I said, hey, these people want me to list their house. They go, oh, well, you can't do that. We're selling exclusively for the builder. I says, well, the last time I looked, I have a broker's license, and I can do that.
Good for you.
So I did do that, and it was wonderful. And I said, oh, so this is much better. So this now I'm selling for, these houses have a 5% commission.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was it 5% back then?
Was 5% back then.
Okay.
Was 5
So it
and
stayed the same.
6% actually back then.
Yeah.
So the builders, charge 5, and the rest of them was 6. So so the pre-owned house was 6. So when I got my check for that, I was like, oh yeah, well this is more like it.
Right.
So and
This is a little more than
eventually the builders
$200.
got angry with Hancock Homes because I did that, and they lost the exclusive. But the builder tried to hire me and pay me a little more money, and I said, no, I'm trying to build a career. I can't get stuck on one thing. I really appreciate the opportunity that you've given me. I think my ability to do this job has spoken for itself, and I need to further my total career.
Good for you for just having that drive and that ambition and knowing your worth.
And I think that's important. And I will tell the younger brokers today, because I do mentor quite a few of them, because times have been very challenging, as you're quite aware.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell them, know your value.
Yeah.
I says, when you know your value, you'll increase your value, because you will give that to a person to think about, and they'll see what you do to earn the value that you're talking to them about. So I think it's important to have the confidence. I don't know where I got all my blind confidence, but I always had it since I was a child.
Yeah, nice.
And be honest with people.
Yep.
And when you talk to them, really listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
First meeting, just listen.
That's huge.
So that's carried forward to every single person that I meet with. And I joke with people and say, well, I never really in my life went for a formal job interview. I never prepared a resume.
You didn't have to.
I didn't have to. My work spoke for itself. So
and some people just have it. And I think you had it from the get-go.
And I loved it.
And you weren't afraid to get in there and learn. And learning with a builder, all those things, like I said.
Yeah.
I've been doing this almost 23 years, and I haven't worked with a builder like that to know all the ins and outs of it. I've learned things with, buyers that buy a new builder stuff, but you really got the ins and outs of it, which is huge.
It was huge. It was
added to your toolbox of how you can help. Yeah.
It was great. And then, of course, I ended up eventually marrying a builder, because when I drove around Williams Brothers subdivisions, I saw this guy up on the roof. I thought he was a roofer, and I go, that house is the same style as theirs, but that house is much nicer. And I said, it's got a higher roof pitch, and it's got different windows and all that stuff. So I ended up hollering up on the roof of what I thought was the roof, and I go, hey, who's building this house? He goes, I am. And who are you? He said. So that started.
That's how you met.
That's how we met.
That's awesome. You're yelling at him. He's yelling at you. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's
match made in heaven.
Whatever. No, he really doesn't yell at me too much.
Yeah.
So
gosh.
So that's
so
what
then
happened.
Let's fast forward to today.
Yep.
You have your own company. How long ago did it become your own? Because you used to be shoot and paysan, right?
Yeah, but first I worked for Hancock Homes for 7 years.
Okay.
And I felt as if I had learned what to do and what not to do working for them.
Yep.
So I did open my own office, which I named Township Homes. And it was, I bought a building in Plymouth on Court Street, remodeled the whole thing, opened for business. Was great. Was open for about a year and a half. I had an opportunity to open another office in Carver, so I did. And I did have a lot of agents that lived in Carver that liked working in Carver. And a lot of those agents were married to the cranberry growers, and they were a big source of business in Carver. So, So anyways, that all kind of worked. And then Plymouth was very interesting because, when I started, I want to say that there wasn't an MLS, but I think there was, but I wasn't aware of it because I was just doing the new construction.
Yeah.
So then when I got into the Plymouth office, one funny story I had, the blizzard of 1978.
Oh, boy. Let's hear this.
I sold a house in Whitehorse Beach.
Oh, my goodness. I can only imagine.
On the water. And the blizzard of 78 came, and I was supposed to close March 1st. Well, the house wasn't there. And I was like, but wait, I was supposed to close on that. And my boss said, well, we don't get paid until you actually do, and there is no house there, Donna.
Oh.
I got in my car, and my car is the victimized by my emotions because I'd get behind the steering wheel and scream and cry all the way home because I was like, oh
wait.
God, how am I going to pay the
You do
gas
that
bill?
too?
How am I going to pay my gas bill?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Because people don't understand. It takes months for us to get paid.
Well, it takes months, and that's the thing.
Right.
You know, when
Sometimes
you really
years.
like this job like I did,
Yep.
I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew I was going to make a career out of it, and my goal was to make a career out of it, but I knew in the beginning that I had to supplement my income. So I was cleaning windows for builders. It was kind of fun because then I started meeting more builders.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. So then in Township Homes, we went through a bad 2 offices, 8 miles apart. It's not a good idea.
Okay.
So that was a big mistake. And I'll tell you what, we learn by our mistakes, hopefully.
Amen to that.
And you make them a lot.
Yes.
And there's no shame in a mistake as long as you learn from it.
I love that you're
And you
saying
own
that
it.
because it's so true. Because a lot of people don't want to admit, that they make mistakes or that they haven't learned things, but we constantly are. We're still learning. I
All the time.
still feel like, this year with certain transactions, I've learned something. I'm like, how have I not known that? Like,
Exactly.
we're just constantly learning and evolving.
Learning, and you have to evolve. And that's
Yeah.
the key word. That's how you stay in the business as long as I do. You have to evolve with the market, with the different trends, with the different types of things that you do. You have to be on good footing with your competitors, your other realtors,
Yeah.
because we all need each other.
Yeah, it's so true. People say that all the time, and that's why I wanted to have you on here. Just as I said, I've admired you for so long.
That's nice.
And it's true though, and I grew up in it. My dad always did it too, so I learned so much from seeing him do things while growing up. But people are like, why wouldn't you have somebody from your office on? And I'm just like, we learn so much from everybody else, and you have to take that opportunity. And it's just, we all have stories. We all have stories that have been in this business.
And it's fun to get together and talk about your stories.
Yeah.
And you know that you're pretty much plugged into the same things that are happening to you is happening to everybody else.
We're all doing different things. I say behind every sold sign, there's a story.
Yes.
And we don't know what that is. It's funny. I was with some agents this morning previewing a listing down on Priscilla Beach.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
They were telling a story of a listing that they had a few years ago on a day of a blizzard. And, we're at their Hingham office, actually, but they got a call from the neighbor, like, the fence is in the yard. You got to come and get this. And, their seller was pretty much non-existent.
Yep.
But they had to drive down there in a snowstorm and pick up this giant piece of fence with, nails and everything, and the wind's blowing and it's whipping and the snow. And I'm like, yeah, people don't realize, like, we do things like that.
Oh, we do.
All the time for our sellers.
We do.
And people don't get it. They're just like, oh, you don't do anything. You just collect a big paycheck. It's like, no. We wish it was that easy, but it's not.
We wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
Is right.
And then when we get those paychecks, we're paying all the marketing fees. And
Exactly. I mean, you work in a 100% commissioned industry.
Yep.
That is really hard to do.
Super
and
hard.
what people don't understand is that we do a lot of cooperative sales.
Yep.
Commissions are pretty much divided in half. And then if you work for an office, the office also has to get paid, and then you have to get paid. So the pie gets cut up quite a bit, and then Uncle Sam steps in and taxes you for all that.
Uncle Sam, the MLS dues, the Realtor dues. There's so many other little dues that we have to pay, like quarterly or yearly or anyhow. We don't want to talk about that. But tell me one mistake that shaped you early on.
I think, and this might sound a little funny, but when I was working with another builder really early in my career, I made a mistake because I didn't read the spec sheet.
Okay.
And somebody asked me if a dishwasher was included, and I said yes. Now, my builder, the guy was a multimillionaire who financed a lot of builders, and I got to meet a lot because I knew him. And he said to me, "This doesn't come with the dishwasher, Donna." I said, "Oh, Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I said, when I get paid the commission, I will pay you back for the dishwasher. He says, no, I'm going to tell you. I want you to do well in this business. He said, learn your paperwork. He says, know your paperwork inside and out. So when people ask you questions, you're not fumbling around looking for the answer. You know the answer. That is going to make you very successful.
So that is an excellent piece of advice.
Yes.
Because I can't tell you how many times I'm showing a house to a buyer and the list agent might be there with us to accompany.
Yep.
And, we don't always accompany, but at times we do. But you're asking questions or your buyer's asking questions and the agent that has the listing doesn't know.
Doesn't know.
And I understand that we're not going to know every answer. And there might be something that comes up and we're like, I don't know. And it's okay to say that. Let me chat with my seller and I'll get back to you on that and make sure you follow up. However, some of them are simple questions, whatever it is. Title V, has it been done? Yes or no? I don't know. No. It's not the right answer. We need to know that. There's silly little things like that we need to know, and your spec sheet before you list it. Yes. And before you bring people in that thing, because you don't want to look like that. I've been with buyers and then we'll leave and they're like, how does she not know or he not know this about this listing that they have? And you do. You need to know.
You need to know.
If you're going to try to sell that and best represent your seller.
I one time in my Plymouth office, I had 16 people and about 14 in Carver, so I had a pretty big office. And then times got real dicey, and that's how I met my business partner, Jeff Chute. He would call me occasionally and go, are your phones ringing? I go, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
So in 1997, I took Township Homes and merged with him in Plymouth. I wanted to get back to Plymouth.
Yep.
I closed my Plymouth office for Township Homes, brought everybody to Carver because times were really tight.
Yep.
And then I noticed when things started to get a little better that I couldn't recruit any agents to work for me in Carver. They would go to Plymouth.
Okay.
So I wanted to
Plymouth is a bigger town.
Wanted to get back to Plymouth and regretted the fact that I had sold my Plymouth office. And so Jeff Chute and I merged our two offices, and we became Chute and Payson Real Estate.
Okay.
And that lasted for about 10 years.
All right.
And then he retired. And times were good, but then times were bad when he said, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, oh, dear Lord.
So, real estate is definitely a roller coaster.
Definitely a roller coaster.
Good years, bad years, medium years.
Yes.
It is. I have a saying in my office that says every day is a new adventure.
It is. It's
because we don't know what the day is going to bring. People will say, can you do this on this day? As of right now, it's on my calendar, but things could change.
Yes.
On my way here, it's somebody's like, we need an extension for this. Can you draft that? Can you get that out to your sellers? And I'm like, oh,
right.
In a little bit.
Right.
Not right this second, but absolutely.
Right.
Because you never know like what's going to happen in our business. But
you never know.
That's one of the things we like about it, right?
It's
a challenge.
It's challenging.
Right?
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And people, when they trust you, you can really take the time to give them everything that they need because you've listened to what they need to get.
Yeah.
It's
very true. Very, very well said.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's one story in your career that you still laugh about? I'm sure you have a gazillion.
I do have a gazillion, but
what's one that brings you back?
One thing that I would say having a good sense of humor in our business is absolutely a qualification of being successful, which is why I love you, because I love your ads and your videos. And I love everything about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And so you're competent. You're doing such a great job. And that's one of the things I do is I watch what younger people than me are doing. And that's what draws certain people to me, too, because I like the humor to our business. And you're spot on with all that stuff.
Well, we have to laugh. Like these moments is what like keeps us going. If we can't laugh at ourselves and like silly things that happen, it's just this business is not for you.
I think one thing that was comical. So when I bought my house in Carver, the slogan was Carver is a town where even crows don't fly over. was like, oh, okay, that's good. Well, in real estate, sometimes people ask you to be an expert witness. So I was in the courthouse in Wareham testifying, always trying to be very accurate with my answers. I took that very seriously, being an expert witness. It was kind of a waste of time, but it's okay. So anyways, I had a lawyer that was trying to convince somebody that this builder knew that the dump was in close proximity to his subdivision. And to drive to the dump from his subdivision wasn't close proximity, but this particular lawyer said, well, Donna, you're the expert witness. Do you know that it's only 1 mile from that subdivision to the dump as the crow flies? And I said, I'm sorry, sir, I'm not a crow. And the judge jumped up, ran to open the door to get out back to his chambers. The clerk of the court started laughing so hard they had to shut the microphone down, and the entire courtroom started laughing because I was very like, gee, I don't know. I'm not a crow, so I can't answer that question.
Oh my gosh!
And it was a funny moment because everybody cracked up over there. And being in a courtroom is pretty tense, let me tell you.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine.
And doing a final walkthrough with one of my best friends in the business who eventually came to work for me. We were doing a final walkthrough. We were both together. I don't know. He worked for another company. He said he wanted to make sure everything was out of the attic. It was like Cape. And he boosted me up into the scuttle, and then he proceeded to leave. I was like,
how am I getting down?
How am I getting down? He did come back, but it got me. But I was like, you son of a gun. And then there's a lot of things. You're with different agents for different companies, and you don't see each other all the time. You talk more to people on the phone than in person. So when you see people in person, it's great, because then you get to share your stories in person. And that works out great.
Yeah.
A lot of humor to that.
It is. And we can all commiserate together.
We can. Oh, do you believe that this happened? I go, I believe anything these days. I believe anything.
There's not too much that can shock us now. That's for sure. That's for sure. Advice for new agents. Like, there's a lot of new agents that started during COVID because they thought it was like easy money. And a lot of those agents are actually not in the business anymore because it is not easy. And, the hustle is real. You have to be out there. You have to constantly be learning new things. I tell people all the time, like, I went to a seminar in September for 2 days for Jared James, who I follow a lot. And I was talking to an agent there from the area, and she said, did you get anything out of yesterday? And I said, well, yeah, even if it's stuff I already know, it's the kick in the butt to me to like, hey, you're not following up on this. You're not doing this. You wanted to work on this. You haven't done it. Right. Which one of them was this podcast. I've been saying for a year, I want to do a podcast, and I just wasn't putting myself out there to follow through on it. Right. And that gave me the kick in the butt. Like, I'm starting this podcast now. Like, when I get back, I'm going to do it. But she's like, yeah, I'm not getting anything. I think I'm going to leave early. And I'm like, that's the wrong attitude. You're not going to do well in this business if you can't pick up something from anybody or any webinar we're sitting on, any CEU. We have to take our CEUs. And, even when I just renewed my license, so, we're not due for 2 years, right? But I have a CEU next week because I'm just like, let me just do them now. Like, because I just take more than I need to keep my mind fresh.
Keep your mind fresh.
We do forget.
You do forget
some things.
You do some things. And sometimes it's things that you think because of some of the rule changes. Yep. You might read what they are. You might listen to the podcast. Listen to different people and talk to different agents that are involved directly with NAR. I do that because I want to know more about what happened. Yep. And what's going to happen.
Tell us what NAR is for those listening that don't know what NAR is.
Yeah. The National Association of Realtors.
Right, exactly. But some people might be like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got to follow and see what's going on.
You got to follow, you got to see, because we have different things that we have to do now. But you know what? There were different things we had to do all throughout my whole career. Yeah. We didn't have Title V.
Yeah. And now we do.
And now we do.
Dealing with a big issue on one of mine
We didn't have buyer agency.
Yeah.
When I started. And now we do. I remember when they first started buyer agency and, sellers paid commissions. But I can remember, when you start, you're out with a lot of buyers.
Yeah.
And I can remember being in the car with the buyers and talking to them because at the time, people would come in your car with you and you would really get to know them.
It's true.
And it was with buyer agency when it first came out, and it took a long time, just like one office was doing it. And I would say to the customers I was with, I said, listen, sellers do pay the commission. We don't represent buyers not right now. And I said, but you will get an honest answers from me because someday I want you to be my seller.
Yeah. Very well said to buyers, but it's true. And it's the biggest thing in this business is that we just have to be transparent, trustworthy,
yes,
and honest with our buyers or sellers.
Yep. That's like I tell some of my agents that work for me, I go, listen, sales meetings, the truth will set you free. Don't ever lie to me because I can't help you.
Yeah.
If you do, and I will fire you if you do.
Smart. So good for you.
And if you didn't know something and you try to pretend you did, just tell me so I can, you can tell somebody, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
People
very good.
are very understanding of people when they say they make a mistake. And it's on them.
Right. Yeah. Just own it.
Easy. Own it. Own it. It's quite easy.
All right. I want to do a quick speed round with you. I'm just going to ask you one question and just shoot out the answer. Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve in real estate?
My biggest pet peeve today are agents that, because of the internet, live far away from perhaps where you have a house listed and think they can just send their buyers to you and then think they can get an offer without looking at the house themselves. And then by the time you get to a closing, they're doing the final walkthrough, and then all of a sudden you have all these problems a day before the closing because they never looked at the house.
That is a great no pet peeves are good, but I agree with that. And in today's market and things that are going and we're busy, I've had buyers that go to an open house or like, I like this, Sandra, I want to put an offer in. And before I write that offer up, I'm like, let me go take a look at it. Let me get my eyes on it.
Absolutely.
Because you want to know, right? You've been working with these buyers. They're trusting you.
Yes.
You do have to see it. So that's one of mine too. More importantly is like a list agent that doesn't call you back when you're trying to set up a showing.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, that's a
I'm like, does the seller know that you're not calling me back or you're not accommodating for showings? Like the goal for all of us, no matter what side we're on, is to get to the closing table.
Absolutely.
Right? So
and it's not an adversarial, it should not be an adversarial job to have a buyer and seller not happy at a closing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you grow a really good, solid business, a generational business.
Yeah.
Because, people should remember how you make them feel. And if they're happy at a close, you have a happy seller and a happy buyer, and the two agents are happy. It's such a better situation for everybody.
Better situation for everyone. And we are a relationship business.
We are.
Right? So you sold a house to them. Their kids are going to buy a house from you. Their
kids, their brothers, their
aunts,
sisters,
uncles,
the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents.
Yeah.
It's the whole caboodle. The sphere of influence just from one good job is tremendous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you said, be honest. All right. Another speed round here question. One thing you never leave the house without?
My sunglasses. Nothing to do with real estate.
I was going to say my phone, but sunglasses is a good one. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. City living or beach living?
Oh, beach living.
Yeah, girl. This is why we're friends. This is why I like you.
I love the beach.
Lock boxes or accompanied showings?
Well, in today's world, lock boxes.
Yeah.
I don't like accompanied showings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think a buyer gets intimidated if you're the buyer's agent and the listing agent's there. Sometimes not. Some sellers want you to be there, so of course that's who you work for.
I think unique houses, accompanied showings okay for like you got to point out some like really unique, features, the plot plan, the lot lines. But I've noticed sometimes that agents only do accompanied showings. Their schedule doesn't always match your buyers.
They don't. It doesn't.
And ours, right? Because our schedule is kind of dictated by what our buyers are available because they work. So if that list agent doesn't have availability or a team member to cover for them, it's very hard to see it. So lock boxes make it easy for people because, again, our goal is to sell the house.
Our goal is to sell the house, and you never know when you're going to get a call from somebody.
Yeah.
So an accompanied showing does sometimes prohibit showings, and I will say that in a listing presentation to somebody that has a regular house that doesn't have specific features that they want you to point out, just a regular house.
Yeah.
And I go, I will do it if you ask me to do it, but it's going to cause you some showings, and it might be just the right showing that it causes you that I can't be there.
Yeah.
I try to be there, but I can't be there.
Right.
So
absolutely.
You just explain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How many agents do you have in your office right now?
Right now, during the pandemic, I moved my office and I pared it down to small, so I have 5 people.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all you need. And good for you for being a broker owner and having your own business. People have asked me that before. Why don't I do that? And do you know what my answer is? I don't want that headache.
Yeah.
I want somebody else to have that headache when these other big questions come up. I just want to do my job.
Yeah.
Help sellers and buyers.
Yeah.
And go about my business. I don't want to know all the other ins and outs and things that I need to know. And,
right.
Anyhow. All right. Do you drink coffee or tea?
I drink tea now, but I used to drink coffee.
All right. Yeah. A lot of people do. And I've never liked coffee, so I don't either.
Yeah.
Water is my go-to.
Yep.
All the time. I have a case of water in my car.
Yep.
All the time. And now one with electrolytes.
Me too. I got to have the electrolytes.
So what's one final piece of advice you want to give me before we sign off today to any agent in the field, no matter if they're green, been doing it, seasoned as well as you? What?
I tell people, just be yourself. Just be yourself. You can try to mimic other people. I tell the agents that work for me, I try to go with them and help them, do a listing because I think it's easy to learn as you go.
Yeah.
But you got to be yourself. You can't be anybody else.
Yeah. Very good piece of advice.
Trust yourself. Yeah.
That's good too. Trust yourself because we can all get in our heads.
Yes.
We're like, oh, I don't do it as well as he or she.
Yes.
Or I can't do that, or I can't do this, or just, be yourself. Be yourself.
Always be yourself.
That's why,
don't pretend.
Like on my reels and my videos.
Oh, you're yourself.
I am myself, and I'm just crazy, but I'm like, that's who I am, right?
Yeah, and I
don't like to practice because then I'll mess it up. I get in my head and I think about like, oh, I should do this, should do that. I don't look good. My hair's a mess. That's my bad side. I look fat. Like we beat ourselves up, but just like be yourself, be real.
Be yourself, be real. And be authentic. You know what I mean? People see it. People can see it. Yeah. You walk in a room, you know how to read the room. They see you, and you just be authentically you.
I love it. That is an excellent piece of advice.
Yep.
That should kind of be our key to the week, but we always end with a key to the week. And this week I had picked, and I think you'll appreciate this being in the business for so long, is if you're getting ready to list, even if it's years down the line, fix the small things first.
Yes, absolutely.
A $10 outlet cover or a loose doorknob looks like maintenance deferred.
Absolutely.
Quick fixes make a stronger first impression.
Absolutely.
Right? There's so many times you go into a house. This house I previewed today, it's $3 million, right? But I'm looking around like, for $3 million. Like, you should have updated that or that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like just little quick fixes because people will look at that. It doesn't matter the price of the house. It could be a $200,000 mobile home that I have, right?
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter. Deferred maintenance really sets people back.
They do. They think the house hasn't been taken care of.
Yeah. So the key of the week is fix the small things first. And I also like what Donna said is be authentic, be yourself.
Yep.
And that is for everybody, not just us real estate agents, but for everybody in your world. No matter what you do, be authentic, be your best self. So Thank you so much for joining me
Oh,
today.
you're welcome. I'm so happy to be joining you.
Yeah, your insight, your stories, your honesty is exactly what our industry needs more of. So I'm
Yep.
glad that you're still doing it.
Thank you.
I'm glad that I get to run into you. I think the first time I ran into you after COVID was Market Basket.
The Market Basket,
Yeah,
that is.
we're like, wait, wow, hey. But it is good, and I love following you too. But anyhow, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. If you love this episode, make sure you follow, share it with another agent. Stay tuned for more behind the scenes from America's hometown. I will see you next week on Sandra Sells Tells, closing deals in high heels. Thank you all.